Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. Here's a practical tip about filing motions and declarations. A lot of the court forms in family court, they don't give you a lot of room to write, especially if there's PDFs. So I like to use a motion form to set up the motion or the hearing, and then I'll write a separate declaration in support of that. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so here's a California FL 300, a request for order. So you see request for order right there? So you can fill out visitation, custody, child support, or whatever. So when you scroll down in here, I guess it's a universal form for any type of hearing. You fill out your information there and there, who it's going to. You type, oh, this is the court order within the motion. Request for order, you see that highlighted, restraining order information, blah, blah. So I'm requesting, I'll check a box, and then they have the requests for child custody are specified in the forms. And you have different forms here that support, like you might have a financial form for a child. Oh, this is custody section only. So you might have a form about who's been doing all the parenting. You might have a supplemental declaration form or whatever. The orders that I request are in the best interest because look at this small section here. I can't tell my whole story with this, but they allow you to have an attachment, this thing called attachment 2 right here, 2C. But I would rather do my own declaration customized template. And let me give you an example of Washington's forms. So if I Google Washington courts, it's courts.wa.gov.wa for Washington. And I click on forms up here. And then for those of you in Washington, there's these different categories of forms: criminal law, family law, etc. But right here, embedded in here, I don't know why they list of all forms. When we go here, here's a list of every single form under a certain heading. One of the headings here is forms for all family law cases, confidential information forms, divorce forms. That's every single document, but sometimes if I go to family law, let's say I'm not married, petition for a parenting plan, or let's say temporary orders on married parents. So here's a motion for a temporary order, FL 323. They have a numbering system kind of like California does. So boom, here's the let's see, if I want to open this up, I need to download it. So let me do that. I'm going to open the file. Okay, so here's a Word document, motion for temporary family law, all these categories. Let me tell you this other thing too. A lot of times people fill out forms if it's a Word version. Look at this. Like, let's say I only have one kid and his name is Billy Smith and he's 5. Okay, I don't need all these extra columns and documents. So I'm going to right click on here. I'm going to delete the columns. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to delete these cells, an entire row, and I'm going to drag this over to the middle and kind of make it a little organized. And let's say I have a children. I'm not going to check no request. I'm going to get rid of that and I'll put an X there. Now I've cleaned this up. Let's say there's a request for attorney fees and costs. Let's say I don't care about attorney fees and costs. No request. I'll check that box and then I'll just clean it up so the judge or commissioner doesn't have to read all the blank stuff and go through it. Oh, is he requesting this? Look at restraining order request. This is kind of like the FLO. It's a universal one. It has a bunch of different requests. I'm not asking for a restraining order. Well, this is what I would always do if I'm starting off a case. I ask for a restraining order. Do not disturb and stay away or you can't come into my property. If I'm filing first, I'm asking for that. So if the mother comes and says, oh, I want a domestic violence protection order, she's retaliating against me because I'm the one who's keeping the distance. That's a great strategy as far as I'm concerned to check. Well, let's do that. I asked the court for a restraining order. You can even get rid of the text boxes and just leave in the language. Restrain, crazy, baby mama. My baby's mom's name is Sedaris, or Sid for short. Willette Wright. She's the only Sedaris Wright in the world. So you can probably easily find her. I want her to stay away. So this is a good lesson if you're in Washington. Or Washington is like one of the only states can't come in within 100 feet of my home. Let's just stay away. Let's just say stay away and do not disturb. So don't disturb my peace, which there's already a law against. So it's kind of a joke that this stuff even exists. But I'm going to play the game. And then I don't care about weapons and all that other stuff. I'm not really afraid of her shooting and killing me. So I'll delete all that stuff. So look at how I cleaned up. This thing took up like half a whole page. I just cleaned it up. Other temporary orders or whatever. But what I'm saying is, what, like this thing says, why are you asking for the order? Now, Washington is cool because I could actually type up, and I hate the underlines here. I might say, the mom sucks. And then I'll go in here and talk about why she sucks. She's a jerk. She's an alienating parent. And their formatting totally sucks also. The mom is mentally ill, bipolar. Okay? And so what I'll do is I'll go in here. And then she might be violent, she might be crazy, her new boyfriend's a child molester or whatever. And then I'll say, she's evil, blah, 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 blah. And I write a big old paragraph, a bunch of stuff here. And then I got another section. See how it's underlined and it's separate and it's standing out? And then I'll say, diagnosed. You know, I'll keep it formatted the same. And see, this thing sucks. So now I gotta move around and format this thing the right way. So I could tell my story in this and break it up and have, let's say I have about 5 or 7 sections and then it's broken up. Well, look, there's no number lines like you see on some other stuff. So I'm going to show you, I would rather download and do my own customized legal pleading. Okay, so I'm looking at Microsoft Word legal pleading template. See what that gives me. How to create, well, this is telling me how to create one. They used to have, okay, legal pleading template. That's a question and answers. Hold on. Okay, I guess they made it a little harder, but here's a pleading paper. It just I found something on California legal pleading. See the number lines over here and then the border over here? That's what, so if like you're on page 5 and you say, Your Honor, will you please look at page 5, line 11 or whatever. So this has the setup up here and then it has the caption. So I actually have a template for this. I'm going to open that up and I'm going to jump off of here. You're going to have to do your own research or get my legal pleading templates in my flow page. In my store, I have online store. I have, where is my template? Oh, it's my declaration template. It's only $15. And then it has a declaration template with underlines, kind of like that Washington document if somebody wants to handwrite, if they don't like to type. There's another one which is a cover sheet if somebody sent you an email, or a doctor wrote a letter and you want a cover sheet where they sign under oath and verify that letter, or just a basic template. I'm going to get into a template here. Okay, I'm just going to go with my template here. So let's say, hopefully you guys can see this. It looks a little blurry here. Okay, there we go. You know, I'm going to fill in the name. James versus Sedaris. And then this is actually my template that's in my store. It kind of gives you a head start and ideas and stuff. But I'll start off and I'll call it, so I typed this up. I saved time. I already typed. Declaration of Father in support of FL 300 request for order, like in California. I would change this to California, County of Los Angeles, San Bernardino, whatever. So I stopped and wrote this because I'm running out of time. So see how I section this off? The mother's mentally ill. She's bipolar, blah, blah. Number 2, the mother's roommate. The law says you have to put restrictions on her and it's dangerous to the child. And then look at her roommate's conviction attached as Exhibit 1. I always make exhibits stand out. So if they're scrolling through, the judge can find, oh, where's Exhibit 2? Where's Exhibit 3? Where, you know, they can see it, this stands out. So this is how I organize the declaration. Just a little hint of that. Or get my package.